This summer, I'll be leaving my home in Kalispell with my parents, Mark and Heidi Rodell. We'll be flying across the Atlantic Ocean. We will be landing in Frankfurt, Germany, to visit my sister Jessie as well as several of our family friends who live in various parts of Germany. We are excited to re-experience the tastes and smells that we remember so fondly from our last visit almost 10 years ago. We are also interested to see the changes that have taken place in our absence, as well as the beautiful castles and architecture that are iconic to this country. From there we will head to the eternal city of Rome. Here we will immerse ourselves in the rich history of the early empire, as well as world-famous cuisine, hopefully squeezing in a little bit of time for a day trip to Pompeii. Our last stop will be the mysterious city of Venice, where we will wander through the winding canals in search of unique experiences and hopefully a little bit of rest from the fast pace of Rome. Hi, my name is Janae Rodell, and I'm here with Foreignergetslost. This is my very first blog post for my new blog. We're going to do a bunch of interview questions now. We don't have any questions from you guys because our comment section isn't up and running yet, but if you want to leave some questions there, we would love to answer them. So please go ahead and do that. These are just some stuff I came up with on our own, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first question is, what are you most excited to do on our trip out of all the things we're going to do? So my answer is to go biking. This is going to be a really interesting experience for us. None of us are really big bikers, especially me. I didn't learn until I was like 12 years old, and I never really was a fan, but I think it's going to be a really, really, really fun way to see a bunch of stuff that we wouldn't normally outside of Rome on the Appian Way, which is the original road dating back from the early Roman Empire. I think it's going to be really fun.
My thing I'm looking forward to is seeing our friends, the Fuchses and the Movements. We saw them in 2000, so it's been 13 years since we've seen them, and I look forward to that.
My answer is to see Jessie. Jessie and Kevin are our daughter and son-in-law in Germany, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with them and just visiting with them.
Our next question is about food, and it is, what are you most excited to eat? Since we're going to 3 different places, there's a lot to choose from, a lot of really, really big differences from Germany and even between Venice and Rome. So here are our answers. My answer is gelato. We just now have our very first gelato place open up in Kalispell, where we live, just a couple months ago. I think it's really delicious, and I'm really excited to go try all the different flavors. I think it's going to be especially great because it's going to be summertime when we're there, and I think it'll be a great way to cool off.
The food that I'm looking forward to is fresh European bread. I had it in Germany, and once I had a friend that went over to Germany and she tried to bring me back the fresh bread, but it didn't taste as fresh as when you're right there getting it fresh from the bakery.
My answer is German chocolate. That speaks for itself.
So our next question is, what souvenir are you going to be most on the hunt for on our trip? Again, since we're going to a bunch of different places, there's going to be a lot of variety. And since we're going to be taking some gifts to give to the people that we're visiting, we're going to have a little bit extra room. So hopefully we can bring back lots of stuff. My answer is art. I really want to find like a local artist, maybe just working on the street or something. I think that would be really great.
Mine's photos. I really enjoy taking pictures, and my biggest challenge is trying to figure out how to store the pictures to bring them back. There'll probably be hundreds, and I hope to share with you.
Mine is some remembrance from Pompeii when we visit there. I've been interested in that story since I was a small child, and I'm not sure what it might be in some shop, but I'll know it when I see it.
Our next question is, which of the areas are you most excited to see? Mine is Venice. I think it's going to be really great. I've heard that you can't go over there without getting lost, so I think that's going to be really true to our name.
We chose Venice to be the last location on our vacation so that we can just kind of chill out and relax after going from place to place to place. And Venice is intriguing because of the water canals and the bridges.
I'm looking forward to seeing the ancient Roman sites. In Montana, when we think of ancient history, we think of basically back into the early 1800s, and to see the old things from the turn of from antiquity to now, I think that will be interesting.
Now that we've talked about our trip a little bit, we want to introduce you more to ourselves and do some personality questions. So our next question is, what do you first look for when you open the fridge? And since we're all family, we're all living in the same house right now, and so it's the same fridge, but we all have really kind of unique answers. So, my answer is Ottawa juice. I'm a college student, and I work a part-time job, so I'm in and out a lot, and I eat a lot on the road. I actually have like the center of my car is just full of like granola bars and snack kind of stuff, and that's what I eat for breakfast and lunch most days. So Ottawa juice is my favorite because it's just really easy.
I work at home, and a lot of times I'll be deep into a project and just have a few minutes to grab a lunch, so I like to go downstairs and grab an easy leftover, warm it up, call it lunch, and get back to work.
The thing I look for when I open the fridge doors are booby traps. It's interesting to see the study in physics that goes on in arranging containers in our refrigerator.
While we're in Rome, both my mom and I are going to go and take a 5-hour cooking class. This is going to be really exciting. I really love to cook as kind of a hobby, but I don't get to do it every day. And I love to do like gourmet foods and foods from other countries. I think that's the most fun. So I'm going to try to learn how to make homemade pasta. And I think that's going to be really amazing. So this next question has to do with that a little bit, and it is, who do you think is the best cook? When I was a kid, I always used to get breakfast in bed for my birthdays, and my favorite thing was hootenanny pancake, which is a family recipe, and my dad was always the best at making it, and so that's kind of like my favorite childhood memory. So that's why I have him as my favorite cook.
Actually, it doesn't matter how old you are, you always get breakfast in bed in our house if it's your birthday. But my favorite cook is Janae. When she's in the mood to cook gourmet, she just whips up the most delicious things, and I really appreciate that.
Thanks.
My answer is Heidi. In my experience in life, I've learned not to shake the tree if you don't need to.
What's that supposed to mean?
Earlier, I mentioned going on a bike ride, and this next question is, who do you think will be the first to give up on the bike ride? I put myself, I'm not very good at bike riding, so I think it'll be a big challenge for me.
I put me because lately I just haven't done a whole lot of exercise. If there's too many hills, I'm not sure I'll be able to get up to the top.
I put down Janae.
We have stories.
Next question.
With a name like Foreignergetslost, I think it's pretty much inevitable that going through 3 different countries, at some point we're going to get a little misguided. So our next question is, when we get lost, because it will happen, whose fault is it going to be? I put my dad because he's usually very confident in his decisions, and so I think that when we get lost, it's probably going to be one of his ideas that he was pretty confident about.
Well said. I put down Dad as well.
I put down it will be my fault because things usually are.
So that's all we have for today. Again, we would love to hear questions from you, so please go ahead and put them in the comment section for this video, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Bye. Follow the blog at foreignergetslost.weebly.com and subscribe to our YouTube page.